good as anything. This is just going to be a short one, but I always say that because I've got another one to do after this one. But I am really tired, so I don't know if this is going to make sense. But all I can see of the Brian Harvey confusion thing, which I'm not confused about it. Well, a little bit, but I'll try and explain myself. But people who had commented, you know, think the same as I do. But I came across it a few days ago. I can't remember. I think I just saw some of his videos. Then I saw Red Pill Phil talking about it. And then Eddie is okay. And I've watched a couple more videos and videos with the interviews with Christine Hart. Is it? Hiya, Christine Hart. So I just want to put my opinion on it again. And then I'm going to get a brew after this and then come back on with a really good, exciting Q chat. But anyway, so this is just a short one for support for Brian Harvey, because seeing these videos, if anyone's seen him, it is a bit confusing because Brian is sort of trying to get everything out, and even my dad have discussed this, and he's like, oh, he's saying this and he's saying that, and I'm not getting it, like, what's he trying to say, and about the phone hacking and this, that and the other. I just think Brian's trying to get a lot of stuff out because he's been frustrated because he's been doing this for quite a few years. He's been shut down, arrested, sent to prison, whatever, made to look like, put out in the media to make, to look like, you know, what's the word, you know, slating him, putting him down, demonising him as some druggie that sells, you know, cocaine to whoever they were making out what, you know, what he was doing on the drug side, this, that and the other, tapping his phone, making out in the media that they were doing all this, and they found out all this information. Yeah, and I don't actually think that's true, because the other things that I follow to do with other things that some people are on and some people aren't, it is showing you, it's all connected to me, that mainstream media, journalists and people, not everybody, lie and make up stories to fix people up to cover the tracks of something else, and will put somebody who's, you know, can be easily believed to be something. Because Ryan did do an interview, I think Tony Mortimer, what I heard Tony Mortimer did, out of the boy band obviously, an interview ages ago, you know, mentioning drugs, and then, like Brian said, he just mentioned it because he thought it was all right to mention it. You know, people mention that these days, you know, when they were younger, they did this and that. And he took something, and I think they just used that to put that on him, because the next day he got fired from E17 because he didn't want to sign the contract anyway. I think it was just another way of getting him out and saying he'd got fired for this when they were just trying to set him up. But it is a bit confusing because also is the Bill Maloney thing and the John Wedger and David Icke now as well, especially the John Wedger thing, because, you know, what John Wedger's been bringing out, you know, people are like, you know, people like him, and like I said before, Brian has not slagged John off. He just said he doesn't understand some things. And the thing to do with Bill Maloney, you have to go and watch these videos to sort of listen. That's why it gets a bit confusing, because we know what John's been bringing out and what supposedly Bill was bringing out, but he just doesn't understand, you know, why he's still hanging around with him, and why, I don't know at the minute because I haven't seen anything else on it, but even, you know, Red Pill Phil said, and Eddie, that John Wedger needs to talk to Brian. They need to get together and talk. We need to get this, like, what they're trying to get out. Because of what I can see of Brian, I think he's telling the truth, and I think he's just been, you know, shut up, shut down, done all these things to him, shut his career down, you know, for all the stuff he did in E17, he doesn't have anything to show for it. And people might be saying, oh, well, that's why he's coming on. Someone said he's bringing a book out. No, he's not. So what if he was? He might be writing about what happened to him. So what? You know, I'm trying to make out like he's some druggie, and he's, hang on a minute, and he's, you know, a mental case, you know, in mainstream media, to put out to all you sheeple out there to believe it, you know, and depressed and that. But at the end of the day, he did say himself, of course you're going to be depressed and probably have a mental state after, when you've been trying to get something out for years, which I said also reminds me of what Tommy Robinson was doing, trying to get stuff out, and look how he got shut down, and look what's happened. And you would get depressed and probably have a bit of a mental state, because if someone's trying to shut you down all the time and you're believing something so true and you can't understand because the people that you thought were okay with you may have set you up or gone against you and you don't understand what's going on and you know the truth, and he's got loads of evidence, loads of photocopies of stuff, he's got videos of stuff, you know, and it makes sense when you watch it, even though, like I said, some of it's a bit here and there, but he just likes to get everything out, a bit like me when I'm just getting random stuff out. Brian had mental illness because of all this. Exactly, and this is funny, a Bill Maloney video came up in my recommended. Is that the one where it's saying, because there's that one where John's on it and they're saying a message for Brian, and it's like, I don't get it, and I don't get why they were slagging David Icke off, because I find that really weird, because the other thing that I follow, Q, has got David Icke on the map, but I think that's... Yeah, arguing the BBC report, and we know what the BBC are like, and we know. And David Icke knows a lot about some stuff that people think's a conspiracy, and it's not. And I do see a connection with, if it's Bill Maloney and John Wedger going on, because they're bringing out stuff about kids, and you know all the stuff we know about that, then is there being something being covered up, maybe talking truth, but trying to direct us in another direction, taking it off something else. Hiya. Taking it off, looking over there. It might be to do with the same sort of thing, but taking... Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you know what I mean. Taking the, what's the word? I'm half asleep today. Taking eyes off something else. Truth can always be a distraction for the lies. Exactly, because there might be truth in it, because we all know about this stuff, but are they trying to fix up the wrong people? Like they have with Brian, with certain things we've been trying to do to Brian, because Brian did mention in one of the, this is where it gets me, because I think a lot of it's to do with kids and cover-ups, and maybe they're distracting from other people, or maybe they were all right, they've got paid off. I don't know, I'm not saying that, because even Brian said, you know, he didn't have a problem with John, but he doesn't understand, and neither do us lot, because we don't know what's going on. But when he brought up about Daniela Westbrook, because they were all saying that he sold her drugs, this, that, and the other, and the secret red rooms in the Browns nightclub in London. Now, if you follow what I follow, we know all about this kiddie stuff, and things are being brought to light with this kiddie stuff and paedophilia and stuff like that, with what's going on with the QAnon thing at the minute, and obviously Tommy Robinson. So that's what's getting me. I just don't understand. Like, I don't know if anyone gets what I mean. But the other thing as well is, he mentions in the video I've just watched about, I think it was on Red Pill Phil's channel, about Rupert Murdoch. I didn't really know who he was, but he was the media newspaper mogul, which says a lot. There you go again, newspaper, mainstream media. A lot of us know that mainstream media lie. They twist things for their, you know, their propaganda and what they want to happen. So that doesn't surprise me at all. There's another thing. And also connected to Rebecca Brooks. Now, I didn't know who she was. Googled that. She was a reporter, a British journalist and former newspaper editor. Hi. So if it's newspaper again, as my granddad worked at the newspaper places and said that you don't believe everything you read. Also an editor. You can put stuff up, as we know. I've seen this with people in Speaker's Corner. They're putting videos up down Speaker's Corner of lots of stuff going on down there, and they'll edit something to how they want it to be perceived to the people that they're putting their videos out to. So, editor, newspaper, editor. Okay, so that's what's going around in my brain. Is like, a lot of us know, like I said, mainstream media, especially at the minute, they just tell lies. They tell lies. They put their stuff out there to suit whoever, you know, they're trying to fix up at the end of the day. And everyone sits there at home, reads the paper and the TV and believes everything, like I said about with the Trump thing and the Tommy Robinson thing. So it all connects to me, like that sort of, you know, fix up thing. It's why they need to get together. Listen, Brian has called them out and no responses. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No responses. So he's called them out. See, if it was me or you and someone had called you out, you'd be like, right, well, we'll get together and we don't have to be violent, or, you know, let's just sit down and let's talk this out, maybe do an interview on camera and let's get this out. Maybe I saw something wrong, or we've got confused, you know, we've got the wires crossed out. Maybe, you know, if you're not talking to each other And especially if he's not going to talk to him, then that just smells a bit fishy to me. That's a bit like, why wouldn't you want to talk to someone to put your story over? Because you might have just got your wires crossed somewhere. Maybe John doesn't know something that, you know, that Brian knows, or vice versa. Are you ready to take the step to broadcasting? Ooh, me? I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. I'll have to. I could do, but I don't know what we're talking about. But with Brian, I'm talking about JF Kennedy after this. I'm doing this. I'm having a cup of coffee, and then I'm talking about JF Kennedy. But with Brian, I just don't understand how people can't come together. If John Wedger or Bill Maloney, whoever he shouted out, don't want to come together to talk about it, then there's something going on there. John did a video the other day, basically told Brian, didn't see that, to shut up. That's what I mean. If John has told Brian to shut up, why is he telling him to shut up? Was that the message one? And saying something about David Icke. Why is he telling him to shut up? Because I feel that Brian's trying to break out something, and people are just shutting him down. But I don't understand why. It just sounds dodgy. Really dodgy. Because, as John actually said, why he's telling Brian to shut up? Is he warning him? Because we've seen them videos of the warnings. But it's like, I don't understand. If you think he's saying something wrong, then you should be talking to him. But why don't you do it so we can all sit here and watch and have an interview and we can all see, what's going on? But to me, Brian has a lot of evidence. What channel? Chris Rubin. I don't know what that channel is. I've watched a lot of stuff on Brian's channel and Red Pill Phil and Eddie is okay. But that's why people are getting confused, because there's all these different interviews. Yeah, you can put the link in. There's all these different interviews. I've seen the one where he's told him to shut. Well, he said a message, about shutting up. But that's what I don't get. They're all sat there. But what's the David Icke thing? I don't get it. But I just think they've ruined his life and they've tried to demonetise him, like other stuff I'm following at the minute. They do the same thing to people. Because maybe he comes across as one of them, them lads that, I said before in my last video, I just don't get it. I just don't get he doesn't get it either. That's why people are confused, because they're saying, I don't understand what he's saying about the phone hacking and this, that and the other. But I just wanted to do a little video to say, I believe Brian's onto something. That's why they want him shutting up. And even if John and Bill were bringing stuff out about kids that we all agree with, and we're all like, the whistleblower, that's what I mean. That's all good. But see, people can talk truth about stuff, but they can direct it a little bit to make it out it's not as big as it is. Stuff I'm watching, it's very big, it's global, but not everyone's on the same page as where I go watching stuff. But yeah, Bill and Co mixing truth with lies. That's what I mean. They can put the truth out there because we know some of it, but people know bits of it. So you think, oh yeah, I'll follow this guy because he is putting truth out. But then they can mix it with lies. Are they trying to divert from something bigger? That's what I'm thinking. I could be totally wrong, but I see Brian's got nothing to lose because he's lost everything. So why the hell? Do you know what I mean? They've probably got something to... Well, I mean, John said some... he said some stuff, but are they mixing something up too? I don't know. But Brian has got nothing to lose. They've already, pulled him apart, this, that and the other, and ruined his life. So I think John has been put out there to take our minds off something. That's what I think. I think there's truth mixed in it, but there's something not right. And that's why everyone's a bit like, what I don't understand what's going on. I'm not saying that's for definite, but because there's this, because Brian doesn't even know, but you can tell he's trying to get something out. But I don't understand why they've told him to shut up and why they're not getting in contact to, even if they're not even facing each other, maybe they're doing an interview, on the channel where you're not with each other, but you can talk through the channel. I just don't get it. And I'm just waiting to see if something happens, because if something doesn't happen, and Brian's still going on, and then they're still telling him to shut up, it's like, what's going on? Because because it's going to make people think more, and it's going to make people want to sort of research and think about stuff. And, I called Bill Maloney out on his interview with Richard D. Hall. Yeah, there's just something. There's something. I see Brian as a normal, nice lad, trying to, like I said the other day, trying to get truth out, and he's hurt because he's been shut down all the time, and he's, he's just wanting it all to come out. I mean, what I know at the minute, truth is coming out about a lot of stuff, and it's the right time to get it out, but there's just something going on, and Phil said that, and Eddie, it's a bit like, we don't know, because they've done interviews with John, and we've all sat there and gone, oh yeah, the whistleblower, he's doing a really good job, but there's just something that doesn't add up. It won't let me add the link. It might do after I go off on live. You can put it in the normal comments. They ruin people who don't expect it. Once they've seen it, there's no turning back. It's cruel, it's sick, they are scared. It's coming out to the surface within time. Exactly, there's a lot coming out to surface, out to the world, because there's all this going on in the UK. There's stuff going on everywhere, and then we've got the stuff in America and the stuff I'm about to talk to in a bit after this. But I just wanted to come on. Yeah, they're trying to say, with his selling drugs, this, that, and the other. But no, I smell a rat somewhere. I didn't feel right watching John on Red Pill Phil. Something made me sus. That's what I mean. Everyone's a bit like, we're not definitely saying he's lying. How can someone like John Wedger, who is about can't see it, who is about not shutting up, then that's what I mean. He wants to get truth out, but he's telling Brian to shut up. But Brian sounds like he's onto something. It adds up to a few things. But, it's not just me. People are sat here wondering, like, something doesn't feel right, doesn't smell right, something's a bit off. And they've made it look more off by telling Brian to shut up. Because if it was me, you'd try and be like, right, let's meet Brian. You get out what you're saying, and then I'm going to put you right. It's not this. Maybe you're just thinking it's this because this, and this, and maybe it's because I did this, and this, but they're not. So if he doesn't want to, Brian wants to, but if he doesn't want to get with him to sort of, debate it out, sort of thing, like I don't get the problem with doing that. So I don't know, but as they say, truth always comes out in the end, and it's like everyone's saying, something's off with it. But I don't see Brian as a liar, like these stupid people going, oh, I think he's bringing a book out, oh, he's doing that. He's lost everything anyway. He's not doing it for that. You know what I mean? And if he did lose money in that for Me 17 and they stitched him up that way, he deserves that money back. That's what I say. He works for it. But it's not about that. He said that. He's not bothered about that. It's about getting the truth out. And it's about getting his name back out there, not how, because things stick for life, don't they? Even if someone gets, they were accused of something, and then in the end they find it out to not be true. Some people will still think it is. He has to live with that. But he's got nothing to lose because he has lost everything. So don't know, I just smell a rat, or it's just because everyone's confused because we're not seeing them talk together. So the something needs to come together, So I guess we'll just have to see. I just wanted to say that. I just think it's just really odd. And I know I've had loads of comments, nice comments about Brian. I've had a few stupid ones, but you get that. Saying someone who knew him and this, that, and the other, and, but it's just funny because I see that thing with the Millie thing. I can't remember her name, Millie. That thing. I see the papers involved. Hiya, I'm going in a minute, but I'm coming back on. I'm going to get Brew and come back on with about a Q thing and JF Kennedy Jr., which I've been trying to shout out, but no one was listening. And, the media, journalists and stuff, which we all know. We all know what's going on there. We've seen how that's working out with Tommy and the Trump matches and things on mainstream media. So that's why I just think it's rather odd. But anyway, I'm going to nip off now. I'm just going to make a brew. So it'll be next 5 or 10 minutes. And then I'm going to come on for the people who might just be interested in listening to me gab on. But it is basically about... Oh, is it right? Don't tell me it's rife on there now. I've just been shouting it out and shouting it out. It's Gran Torino one. I've been shouting it out all morning and no one was listening to me. So I'm going to do my own show now about it. I might just check. I'm just going to go and make a brew. So it might be the next 5 to 10 minutes and then I'm going to come back on. So if anyone's into Q or finding out about or just wants to listen to me yak on, then I'll see you in a bit. Bye. I can never know how to get off this thing. What am I doing?